The Los Angeles Dodgers have been linked to a couple big stars as we approach the trade deadline. Hey, this is Mike Nelson, the Dodgers Digest Show. Make sure to subscribe to this brand new channel. We're going to bring you the best in Dodgers talk. Let's get right into it. In the last few hours, there's been rumors of the Dodgers getting linked to a couple big stars. This is coming from Sports Illustrated, The Athletic, different sources. Pat Ragazzo, the Ragazzo Report on Twitter, works for Sports Illustrated, recently reported the Dodgers are heavily interested in a couple players from the Chicago White Sox, who, as we know, are not going to be going to the MLB playoffs this season. So they're going to be sellers. They're going to start to deal their best and try to get some talent for the upcoming years. They're thinking of maybe dealing Garrett Crochet, pitcher, and outfielder Luis Robert Jr. A couple players that I think the Dodgers are kind of interested right now, with the way the season is going. The Dodgers, on paper, were supposed to, wipe the floor and, win the World Series, but it hasn't really been that way. The team has struggled at times, and especially when it comes to pitching, they're going to need some help. So Garrett Crochet might be that answer, and you can never have, too many bats. That's what Luis Robert Jr. is going to bring. So really interested to see what happens the next couple days, but the Dodgers are right now interested in a couple big stars, and they're going to be, trying to figure out what they're going to do and what they're going to deal out. But let's talk a little bit about, these two guys. Is it going to be a game changer for this team? I think that's what everybody's kind of wondering right now. In terms of Garrett Crochet, I mean, the guy is a proven pitcher. Guy, take a look at his stats here. Garrett Crochet this season has pitched, 20 games. He started 20 games, he's over 100 innings. So he's been pretty reliable for a White Sox team that, of course, has not been great. And a stat that really, really stands out for me is 150 strikeouts. That's right, 150 strikeouts in only 20 games. I mean, that's insane. He's projected to strike out 248 batters. So that alone is going to be huge. He has given up 10 home runs. I mean, that definitely is you could say a downside there, but the 150 strikeouts is something I'm looking forward to, him getting those Ks. And, in his career, this guy is a young pitcher. He's never really pitched in the playoffs, of course, at this level. So we're going to see how that goes. And another thing, too, is in his last 5 games, in the All-Star game, he looked pretty good, pitched an inning, gave up a hit, struck out one batter. In the last few starts, of course, the team has been losing quite a bit, but really he's only given up 4 runs in his last, what is that, 4 starts. So I mean, the guy has been pretty good. I mean, he's a good pitcher. I mean, Garrett Crochet is a pitcher that I'd rather have him out there right now than some of the other Dodgers starting pitchers. So I mean, I really think it's a gamble that I think the Dodgers should go after. I really think it's a a gamble that they should try to take, and I think would be a big asset for the team. Let's look at Luis Robert Jr., the other guy that's in that report, the other player, outfielder that the Dodgers are strongly looking at right now to bring in. Um, Luis Robert Jr. is a player that I think has been overlooked by a lot of stars, a lot of you know experts in baseball, and I really think he could be a player that could help this team a lot. I mean, let's take a look at his stats here. For this season, he has really done well up at the plate. Has 11 home runs, 23 RBIs. He's a clutch hitter. He's walked 18 times, so the guy can get on base, and he's only struck out 57 times. That's pretty big. In 160 at bats, he's only struck out 57 times. So he's going to be reliable when it comes to getting on base, and that's what you need in the playoffs. You need somebody that can get on base. But now the question everybody's asking: what is it going to take for the Dodgers to get these players? What are the Dodgers going to have to give up? I think that's what everybody's kind of wondering. And according to the sources for Robert Jr., the word is that the White Sox want a major league player and a few position prospects in return. So thinking about that, I think the Dodgers are probably, going to have to go out and probably trade James Outman. Yeah, James Outman has been a fan favorite for the Dodgers the last few years. Well, I would say the last 2 years, right? But I mean, he's been a player that I think a lot of fans have really, fell in love with. But he's probably going to have to go if they get Luis Robert Jr. Because I think the White Sox are going to be definitely interested in a player like that. So you expect James Outman to go, and then probably, of course, some pretty good prospects as well. In if they were to trade for Luis Robert Jr. Let's look about Garrett Crochet. So in their case, they want a couple major league players or close to major league ready pieces. That's what John Hyman is reporting from the New York Post. And in this case, I really think the Dodgers are not going to give up any major league pitchers for Crochet. I think they're going to try to throw out, some minor league arms out there because their pitching rotation, as we know, is pretty decimated as it is, and even their bullpen. So I really don't think they could give up what they got. There's probably some players that haven't pitched as well this season that they will want to give up, but the White Sox won't be interested in those guys. So the few good that the Dodgers do have, I don't know if they'll be giving that up, and I think they're going to be more compelled to give up a minor league arm, or a couple minor league arms, maybe two or three, and maybe a first round pick down the line. Who knows? To try to get a Garrett Crochet, a young starting pitcher that could be a game changer for the Dodgers this season, and then moving forward could be a player that could really be important for the Dodgers. Remember, subscribe to the channel, and this is Dodgers Digest.